Hello everyone, I am Andrew Hochradel and I am your host today. We are going to be taking a look at variables in Adobe Illustrator. It's going to be a wild ride. This is one of my favorite workflows and I think that it's going to be really fun. It's a little bit technical, so let's hold on together. But I think it's going to be a great time. So let's hop in, let's get variabling. And today we are working with spreadsheets. Today we are working with Illustrator files. So here's the Illustrator file. And then we also are going to be working with some spreadsheets to generate unlimited options of all of these things. And chat, you know what? Give me just a second, because what I'm going to do is I am going to make the background disappear. Here we go, chat. Hold on. There we go. It's a little bit easier for you to see. Okay, so we're getting technical today, which is going to be really fun. Let's go ahead and just do an overview of what we are looking at. So Illustrator here, we have a lot of different artboards. I'm just going to kind of share some tips for you to level up your workflows and hopefully work really, really easily at scale, right? So if you have a lot of pieces you need to make or a lot of things going on, super easy to do that here. What we're going to do first is Illustrator has a really great way of using artboards, and it's very, very important that there is a lot of setup that goes into using variables. The first thing that we need to do is you need to make artboards for all of your pieces. Now, when we're creating, we're thinking about puzzle pieces, right? Usually you're making one design, but right now we're going to be making a design using puzzle pieces, and every artboard or text box is going to be a puzzle piece. In the end, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to try to create a name tag. So if we think about a name tag, right? What we need is, first of all, probably the background, okay? And then on top of that, we'll need text for first name, and then we'll need text for the last name. We're going to use all of these pieces to do that. So the first thing that I want to do is I'm going to fix these artboards. I've gone through and already named these artboards, which is a lot of the time. The setup of doing variables is a lot of the time, but we have set this up. We have texture 1, background 1, social, and frame. It is very important that you do not have spaces in any of these names. It'll just save you a bunch of time. No spaces across the board. Don't use a space, use underscore. Excuse me, use underscores, no spaces. Also, just as a little note, I'm getting over a little bit of a vocal injury. So if I get coffee, if I get a little raspy, it's a little bonus for you. Disclaimer. All right, I'm gonna drink my Adobe Live water bottle. So we have all of our artboards set up. We have all of them named right above me right here. Oh boy. And what we can do is we are going to align these. So we can come down here, and we can click right here on the rearrange all artboards. So clicking on rearrange all artboards. All right, we're here. I just need to get it out. Yes, it's coffee and coffee. The coffee got me going. Okay, so we're going to rearrange all these artboards. We're going to do it in 5 columns, and I want the spacing to be a little bit more. So I'm going to do 0.5. So from here, we are going to move the artwork with the artboard. And because all of our artboards are set up, it's going to reflow these really easily. So we hit OK. And look at how organized we are. Cheers. We're so organized because we use that reflow. So if you're ever working in Illustrator, your artboards are getting a little bit crazy, you can do it super, super quickly and easily by just reflowing those artboards. If you have a shape that is randomly out somewhere and you need that to become an artboard, all you need to do is hit Shift O or come down to the artboard tool right here. And then check this out. If you click on it, it will make an artboard that goes exactly to the edges of that shape. So this works with any shape, super easy and quick way to make your artboards. So I'm going to do that. And we have all of our pieces. Let's start out by creating just a name tag. Step 1, we're going to do 3 steps here. Step 1 is going to be name tag. Step 2 is going to be name tag with texture. And step 3 is going to be a social media graphic with a quote. Step 4 is going to be like a complex character, but we'll see if we get there. All right, so we have our name tags right here, and I'm just going to zoom in. And this is totally cheating. I'm going to click and drag to see the size. So right now it is like 3 by 5. If I wanted to get the size of that, I could hit Shift O, grab my artboard tool, and then just hit enter. And this is also where I've named, you can name it, you can get your size. So 3 by 5 is the size that we're going to be working with. So we are going to use all these pieces, but right now I only want to pay attention to the background right here. So we're going to hit Control New to make a new document and go 3 inches by 5 inches. We did it. That's the end. Thanks so much for joining me, JK. So what we're going to do is we actually need to export those backgrounds because we're about to make placeholders, again, puzzle pieces, to tell Illustrator this piece goes in this place, and then this piece goes in this place, this piece goes in this place. So we're going to play around with all those, but we need to export some of these backgrounds first. So I'm just going to click here, and you can see down at the bottom, it has the artboard number. So this is artboard number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So to export, I'm going to go to File, Export, and then we are going to go to Export for Screens. This is just going to be an easy way for us to pick the ones that we want. We don't want all of these, so I can uncheck them. And it's going to make a box for each artboard, and I can just uncheck the ones that I don't want right now. So we are going to export those eventually, but I don't want them right now. So range 6 to 10, awesome. We are going to export these two. Let's go ahead and just do a file on the desktop. I'm making a new folder. It's going to be Adobe Live Demo. All right, so I'm going to export them to this folder. So we're going to select folder, and then from here, we do want a PNG. We do want it at 72 DPI. I think that looks good for me. We are going to create a subfolder. Actually, we're not going to create a subfolder. We don't need one. But we are going to do a PNG 72 DPI and prefix. I don't want any prefix here. So nothing, because the name is going to be enough. So it's going to export as background 1, background 2, background 3, all that stuff. So we're going to go to export artboards and check it out. If we come to our desktop, we'll see very quickly that our Adobe Live Demo, all these backgrounds are here and they look great. Again, no spaces. Very important that there are no spaces in these title names. Or the folder. No spaces, title names, no spaces, folder. Very specific. Okay, so we have those. Now, let's come back here, and this is where we're going to start building with those puzzle pieces. We're going to go to File, Place, and we're going to do the background. So we're going to do just the first of the backgrounds that we made in just a second ago. So we're going to go here, and just background 1 right there, place, and I'm going to place this in the background. So you can see this X through it means that it's just a placeholder, right? It has been placed with an image, so it is placed. Next, I'm going to add in some text. And so let me give you a preview of what we're going to be doing. We need to make name tags for all of these people. It's a lot of people. So to make name tags for all these people at the same time, this could take us, yes, lost already. I know I'm talking really fast. So sorry. But if you want more of this, I'm actually doing a session in Adobe Max on this workflow. So you can tune in, watch that, or you can watch the replay here on Adobe Live. So we have 51 different name tags to do. This would take forever to do individually in Illustrator, but guess what? We don't have to. So what we're going to do here is we are going to make a text box, and I'm just going to click to make point type, and I'm going to turn off my pixel preview because I don't know why that's on. There we go. And I'm going to just do first name. And again, we have to think that we're not designing anything right now. We are only using these to make puzzle pieces. So I kind of like that. We are going to make it white. I'm going to go right here. And what's cool is as I flow these, it's going to be keeping any of the effects, any of the styles, any of the things that are attached to these names. So I do want a little bit of an outer glow to make a shadow. So we're going to go to Stylize, Outer Glow, and then just do a normal, and maybe we want it at 30%. So just a really, really subtle kind of background to give us a little more space. I am going to use Alt and Shift to just make a copy of this, and we are going to do last name. Oops. All right, so we've got first name, we've got last name. We are just going to put these in the center of our document for now. And this is where it's gonna get crazy and super fun. We are gonna go over to our document, and there's nothing special here, but we wanna make sure that we are set up correctly. The name of your file, no spaces. So this is just gonna be names for now. The columns at the top. So right here, actually, let's pull this up so y'all can see it pretty well. Okay, so the column at the top here needs to be the category that you're putting in. So we're going to add more later. We're going to do images. It's going to get crazy. Hold on. But no spaces here either. First name, last name, no spaces. These are going to set the puzzle pieces, right? So it's saying, hey, we have a puzzle piece in our Illustrator that is first name. These are the puzzle pieces that are going in there, right? Last name, puzzle pieces right here that are going in there in that column. So each column is a box of puzzle pieces that will get put in. So all we need to do now is we have all of the things set up. We can go to File, Download, CSV. So it has exported the CSV. Looks good to me. That rhymed. We're gonna come back in Illustrator and go to View and Window, and then we're going to open up Variables right down here at the bottom. So from here, we are going to select our variable by going to Load Variable Library, and these are the libraries. We're gonna go to our downloads, and we're just gonna pick the names sheet that we did, hit open, and you can see, look at, we have our boxes of puzzle pieces here now. So with this is the first placeholder. Let's click right here on first name. And then we're going to click on this little like Lego brick that says make text dynamic. Making it dynamic is saying basically, hey, this puzzle piece goes with this box of puzzle pieces, right? And they are going to go together. So we're going to click there, and it is going to see that variable of first name is linked to the object first name, which is right here. So last name, same thing right here. We're going to select last name, and we are going to click to make that text dynamic. Looks good. So the next thing that we're going to do, actually, we're not even going to do that yet. We're going to do one background for now, and I'll show you what that looks like. So now we can look at our data sets. You can see there are 50 data sets here. If I click on select data set 1, watch what happens. There we go. It is going to automatically flow in that name. Now, something happened that I didn't want is I want these to be in all caps. So all I need to do is select these two. We're going to open up our type box and go to open type. Oops, go to character and then show options and then click right here on all caps. So it's going to keep it all caps. And now when I click right here on data set 1, you can see Anna Mitchell, the name is right there. So we can click here. We've made 51 name tags in like, I don't know what, a few minutes. Super quick, super easy. So what we're going to do is some of these look a little bit too long, but that's fine. For demonstration purposes, I'm just going to export this. So to export this, we can do it very quickly and very easily. I'm going to go back up to data set 1. We are going to record an action. So we need to go to Window, we need to go to Actions, and then from here, we are going to do an export. So we are going to come in and we are going to record a new action. So we're gonna hit plus to record a new action, and we are going to say that this action is maybe name tag export. So we hit record, we've got it. Oh my goodness, it's in a crazy folder. That's fine. So from here, all we're gonna do is file. We are going to go to save a copy, and then we are going to save this. We are going to go to file. We're going to go to export, export as, and then we are going to put it in that little folder that we created. And we are not going to name this. So if you wanted to, we could change the names. I'll show you how to do that, but we are just going to leave it completely blank .jpg right now. We are going to use artboards. We're going to use range 1, and we're going to turn off the, actually, we're going to turn on the suffix. From there, we're going to hit export. This all looks good to me, so we're going to hit OK, and now we have the export. Awesome. That's what we need. So now we can do a batch export using the variable data sets. And what's really fun is if we wanted to, it is going to export based on the data set. So if we wanted to, you could come in here and just rename them very quickly. Jessica, and there's no way to do this that isn't manual, which is kind of a bummer. You can do it with XML, but we're not getting into that. So I've just named the first few there. So we have David, we have Anna, we have Jessica. You can name each of the variable data sets. So now, here we go. We are going to select the name tag export. Go to the menu right here, and we are going to go all the way down to batch. Batch basically means that we're going to process a lot of things at the same time. So default actions, yes, we want our name tag export. The source is going to be the data sets, right? So the data sets are what we have set with that spreadsheet right there. Super easy. I do want to go ahead and put this in my Adobe Live demo. We can select folder there. Same thing here. We're going to put it in the Adobe Live demo. And we want to make sure override save and override export are checked. That just means that like it's going to do exactly what we want and not do anything crazy. We are going to change the file name to the data set name. And now we're just going to hit OK and watch what happens. Are you ready? We're going to batch export using that action that we just created. Here we go. Uh, 50. Okay, so let's go and see if that worked. There we go. So check it out. Literally, did you see how fast that went? Look at, we have name tags for every one of our people. And you can see that it's actually named a few of them. So it's named Anna here. It shouldn't named like the first couple that we had, but it is named all of them. And you could name all of them if you changed the names to all of them. And so now we have name tags for all of these people in like a few seconds. Like literally that was so fast. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to delete a lot of these. So we're just going to get rid of them. I just wanted to show you how quickly you could do it. And now is when we get really crazy. So I need to keep these backgrounds here. And I think the rest can go away. Yes. So you can see down here, David, Jessica, those did export with the names. All right. So we have our backgrounds. That's all we need. So now it's going to get crazy because the backgrounds are going to, maybe we want to randomly do some backgrounds. Let's start working with overlays and images. So we're going to come back into our spreadsheet here and we need to add a new box of puzzle pieces, right? And we see in our Illustrator file, this background right here is an image and that is a placeholder. So we need some puzzle pieces to put into that placeholder. We're gonna go here and I'm just going to type in @ and we are going to name this, my goodness, come on Google. I'm going to name this, let's see, @image. Let's do @background. Let's do @background. Oops. All right. Let's not do that. Oh, man, it's killing me. If anyone knows a way to turn that off, please let me know. Okay, so we have @background. The @ symbol is going to let me know that it is a image. So @ is an image. If you have a problem and something's not working, what you can do is just put a little apostrophe in front of the @ and that will make it so that it, if there's an issue, that will fix it. I don't know why it fixes it, but that will fix it. All right, so the background. Now we need to grab one of our backgrounds. So we're gonna come here into our little folder and background 1. We need to grab the file path of this because we're gonna say, hey, this is the puzzle piece we need to put in. Go to properties, and then from here, you can see that we can grab the location, which is the file path. So we're gonna paste that here, and this one is background1.png. So we're gonna add that to the end. So we have, here is the path that we want to go after to say, hey, this is where the file is. So I'm just gonna do this and drag down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wanna have 5 of them. So I'm gonna come in here real quick, and this is why it's so easy for you to name them. It just makes things way easier. Come up here and do 5. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we have 50. There are 50 of these. So I can select all 5, and then I'm going to grab this and go all the way down to the end. So we don't want them going in sequential order. We don't want 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's super boring. What we do want is to maybe randomize those to get a little bit of uniqueness in the backgrounds. And we're going to add more that will make it even more unique. So what we do is go to data, randomize range. So now you can see all of these numbers have been completely randomized, which is really cool. So let's go to file. Again, we're going to download CSV, and we can come back into Illustrator and go load variable library. And this is just going to update my variable library right here by hitting open. So the background now, you can see that there is a background, is we can click on the image. This is a placed image. It has to be a placed image. So place image, select our background, and then we are going to make the linked file dynamic. And now watch what happens when I come back to the dataset 1. You can see that the background is going to change with each dataset because it has been randomized. So it is pulling in the names from the sheet and the file paths from the sheet, and the file paths are pointing to one of these 5 backgrounds that have been randomized. So we have all of these randomized completely. Now, let's say that we don't want them to be, actually, let's do one more export, and I'm going to show you one more trick. Is I want to add in a little bit of texture to each of these, but I want the texture to be unique to each one. Again, its own background and a little bit of texture on top. Super easy for us to do. We can come back to our source file, and we have these 5 textures that are sized and that are named texture 1 through 5. So again, this workflow is a lot of setup, but it's super quick once you get it. You saw that we exported 52 files. Even though this took a little while to name all our artboards and size everything, 52 files, unlimited amounts, different. We can do different formats. We can do everything we want. So we're going to go to File. We are going to go to Export, Export As. We're going to do 1 through 5 here. 1 through 5. I do want to put it in our little Adobe Live demo. And this one, again, no .jpeg, anything. So no suffix either. We are going to hit Export, and now we should get 5 textures. Let's look and see. There we go. So we've got textures 1 through 5. I don't know why it gave me an underscore. I'm going to take out the underscore just for now. I do know why it gave me the underscore. All right, that's fine. So if you get underscores, it's actually fine. You can just use it in the file path. I'm going to take them out because I want to. All right. So we're here and we got all of them. All right, cool. So 1 through 5, looking good. Now we are going to assign back to our spreadsheet, textures 1 through 5. We want to go ahead and add those in. So I'm going to do @texture. And then I want to grab just this same file path. And I know that it is texture 1 right here. And I believe I did JPEGs actually. So we can do texture1.jpg here. Oh, that's not going to work because I do need those to be PNGs. Okay, so what I can do, no, they don't need to be. They can be JPEGs. Okay, so we're adding in our file path to that texture. Same thing, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to do those 5, and then I'm just going to rename them to 2 and 3 as I go. And again, yes, I know that this is a little bit tedious, but it's so worth it when you're doing giant projects. So we've made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are going to drag this down all the way right there. And again, data, randomize range, that's going to give us random textures. So file, download, we are going to do comma separated values right there. It's going to download for us. Sounds good. Hydration is important. Okay. If I ever go silent, it's because I'm coughing. Is this how they make the Adobe Max badges? I guess they do this in InDesign for Adobe Max. So we want to place one more image and go to File, Place, and then we can choose our first texture. We're going to put that over the whole document right here, and then change the blending mode to multiply. And again, we are adding the effects only to the placeholders. So the placeholder is for the texture, and the texture has the puzzle pieces that are going to flow into it. So now I can update again one more time, load variable library. We're going to go to our downloads, and we're just going to grab the next one, hit OK. And now I want to link the texture to our texture using a dynamic right there. So now when I go to dataset 1, you'll see that this texture is going to randomize based on the person. So each person's getting a randomized badge with a random background and a random texture combination. Pretty crazy, right? It's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. So let's go ahead and do something a little bit different. And I'm going to grab from a different document on this. Is we are going to make it conditional. So this is going to get pretty crazy. Let's open this spreadsheet. And this is one that I've created. Hold on, don't freak out. Everything's gonna be okay. Hold my hand. Hold my hand. Okay, so what we want to do is I'm going to add in a category. And this is going to be just a different, so let's say that we're working with different organizations that have maybe different badges that they need to add different elements. Again, I'm trying to show you how this tool works and understand the workflow. This may not be the use case that you use it for, but I want you to understand how the pieces kind of go together. So we are going to do a category, and here we have a note, inspiration, saying, and maybe here this would be department, right? And the department would have a bunch of different categories, or, you know, it would say like accounting or whatever, right? We could categorize people into different teams. But what I want is I actually want the background to change based on what category it is. Okay, this is where it gets crazy. So we're gonna have a custom background depending on what category they are classified into. So we are going to click on our background right here, and you can see there's a crazy formula up at the top. So I'm gonna copy and paste this into Illustrator just so we can take a closer look. This is where it gets pretty advanced. All right, let's do that, not in that. Let's do trade. And let's turn off our all caps. All right, so here we go, chat. Everybody hold on. It's gonna be okay. Let me see if I can get, there we go. All right, here we go. So what's happening here, let me zoom in. What's happening here is this is a formula that is going to tell Illustrator if this column has this word in it, I need you to show me a different image. This is where it gets so powerful. Okay, so let me go ahead and illustrate this. So we have the if function. So equals if. This is an if function in Excel or in docs or sheets or whatever. So if the box D2, oh, let's not do this in black. Hold on. I need to be able to highlight and annotate. All right, here we go, chat. There we go. So if D2, this is a box, has the word note. So if D2 has the word note right there, then I need you to display this image. Okay. So super easy. If D2 says note, then display the image background 1, right? Which would be assigned to note, or we could name it note if we wanted to. If D2 equals inspiration, then display background 2, or this could be inspiration background. If D2 has saying, you can do as many as you want there. So you're basically telling Illustrator, hey, in our spreadsheet, if this, which is D2, the category, right? If D2 or 3 or whatever, if it is this word, then I need you to display this background extension, right? Super smart. Thank you. So this is a great way that if you're working on anything, again, try to think of not just name tags. If the category is December, then display Christmas background, right? And that is going to allow us to make social media images really, really quickly. Or if this is a certain brand, display their logo. If it's a different brand, display a different logo, right? You can tell it everything. If R2, then D2. Nice. So hopefully that does make sense. Chat, does that make sense? It's a little confusing, but I think we got it. Again, if this in our spreadsheet, D2 category, is the word note, it is going to then display this, right? All right, sounds good. Okay, so I need to actually change this real quick because we need to do a custom variable. So I am going to look at my background right here. So we want to look again. We have background _1, Adobe Live Demo. So everything's the same except desktop, Adobe Live Demo. So I can come in here and we are going to do just Adobe Live Demo. Adobe Live Demo. And we're going to take that out right there. So this is something I can copy and paste to these other ones. Is we're going to do this and just paste. There we go. Same thing here. We want to make sure that we are doing this syntax. So we want to make sure it's in quotes. And this is something you can just copy and paste. This is something I've set up for you. Copy and paste, please. All right. And phrase, let's do background number 4. Right here. So background number 4. Okay. So we have in our little formula here, if D2 right here is note, then display this image. If it's inspiration, display this image. And we can take this right here and we are just going to drag it all the way down and it actually will update for me so that as I click on this one, it is actually D51. So it's going to keep those going all the way through, right? Looking good. I love it. So we're going to go file. We are going to download. We are going to do CSV, comma separated values. And from there, oh, we actually need to change our texture. So let me go back here real quick. I'm going to go back. Got it. And I'm going to grab our texture column from right here. So grab our texture column. And then we are going to bring that back into our other one. Oh, you guys get the DCC background because I turned my green screen on. Wow. So much going on. Okay. So from here, we are going to do that in the texture. I'm just going to paste that whole column. All right. File, download, CSV. All right. We're getting crazy, y'all. I'm going to delete this. Hopefully you get it. Take a screenshot. And now we are going to click here and load variable library. We are doing our new variable library. And you can see there are a lot of columns here because it is a little bit crazy. So first name has stayed. Last name has stayed. Looks good. Category. Category is not important unless we wanted to add the category to the bottom. Maybe let's do that. So let's do this and let's do category. And I'm just going to click right here to make that dynamic, put the category at the bottom. The texture, I do want to link right here. So I'm going to unlink this real quick and then relink it. And the background, just to be safe, oops. The background, just to be safe, I'm going to unlink it and then relink it. So we've got all of our pieces. So this looks good. There's a variables Illustrator DCC. There is. It is much more surface level than this. This is getting really, really deep. So we are going to go here and select our data set. And now the note background is the purple one. So if we keep scrolling here, you'll see when we come back to a note, it is the purple background. So everyone has been made into its own piece, which is really cool. So again, we can run our action and we can go window, action, and then we can go to batch and default. All of these are the same. We are going to now hit OK and watch what happens. Boom, 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 bam, 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 pa, 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 goo, 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 goo. And if I turn this onto extra large icons, you can see, boom, we have all of our name tags here with all of our people super quickly and super easily. It is still exporting those. Oh, you do have to keep it on the Illustrator. That is actually a big thing. You have to keep it on the Illustrator window for this to work and for this to keep going. All right, cool. So that is there. Let's come back to our window and yeah, we got a whole bunch of pieces in here. So let's say that we didn't want these to be all separate. That's fine. We actually can do this as a PDF. All I need to do is recording new action by clicking on record, and we are going to go to file. We are going to go to save as, and we are going to do this as a PDF. Oops, right here. We are going to, again, not name it. And then from the desktop, we do have the Adobe Live demo. We are going to save. We're going to use just for 2008, save document, looks good. So then we are going to stop. We can batch this again, going back to the first one, and we are going to go to file. We are going to go to batch, and then again, hit OK. Oh, I'm doing it with the wrong batch. Okay. Oh, Andrew. All right, chat. Well, we're going to have a minute here. I need to do this 50 times. So this is what happened is I accidentally replaced. Actually, let's not do that. Here we go. Here we go, chat. I need to delete what's in here. I made the mistake of not choosing the right one. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to delete everything except for the backgrounds and the textures. All right, backgrounds, textures, awesome. Delete all of those. Now, when I come back here, it should, yeah, just go. Okay, so I can delete these now. Chat. I'm hurting. All right, here we go. Do you get an overset text warning if the area type box rather than the point type? Let's try it. Let's see what happens. We're actually going to do that next with some quotes. All right, so it is exporting all of these as PNGs and PDFs. I don't know why it's doing that, but it is. If I wanted to, I could go into Acrobat and I could combine all of these into one PDF, but we'll get there. We'll get to that craziness. So I am going to delete all of these. All right. And someone is asking, hey, can we get overset if it is a little bit different? So let's go ahead and do a little bit more of a complex one with a little bit more of options. So we're going to go to pixels. We're going to do 1080 by 1080. And this is just going to be a social media image here. So with our social media image, we are going to start placing our pieces. We do actually need to export all of these pieces now. So we're going to export all of these artboards by going to File, by going to Export, and we're going to do Export for Screens. For here, we are going to just do all. I'm going to save it into the Adobe Live demo that we have, 72 DPI, looks good, no prefix. We're going to hit Export, and it is going to replace some of them. So now, it has exported all of those artboards, and they're all right here. So we're going to come back, and I'm going to, yes, sure. I'm going to place into the background all of our pieces now. So the first piece that I want to place is the background. Super easy. File, place. We're building our puzzle pieces. We have social 1. Looks good. So we're going to align this to the center, and that looks great. Our next piece that we're going to do is going to actually be a frame. So we're going to go to File, Place, and we are going to choose Frame 1 and just align that here to the center. I am going to change the blending mode of this to multiply to give us a little bit of a look. Looks great. So next, I am going to add some area type this time. We're going to use the type tool to click and drag this box all the way over pretty close to right there. And we are going to do Cooper. We are going to go center aligned. I'm going to delete all of this and just type the word quote. So we are going to go up here. Looks good to me. We are going to put this in the center, and that looks great. I am going to make it white, and then let's do a little bit of that outer glow on it. Sounds good. That actually is going to be probably too big, but let's see what happens. So then I'm going to add one more that is going to be first name and last name. We're going to do it down at the bottom here, very small. I'm going to move this up just so I know that I have enough room. And we're going to do first name and last name. Oops. First name and last name. Okay, so we have area type this time, a little bit different. So let's go ahead and we actually can use, I probably need to change the, I need to do the social back just a little bit differently. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to copy this formula here. And what's cool is I can paste it over here. And I know that instead of being the backgrounds, right? So instead of being background 1, I know that my file extension now is going to be social 1. So what I can do is I can grab all of this, right? And instead of background, I can actually just change it to social. So watch. With that all selected, I can go to Control F to find. Then we can go to find and replace. So I want to find background and replace it with social. So a specific range is right here, and we're gonna hit replace all. Let's try background 1 dot. Why is it not? Smash case. Match entire cell contents. No. Also search within formulas. There we go. So it has replaced background with the word social. And I believe, let's go ahead and look here. So we've got social 1, social 2. All of these have changed to social. So that should look good. Super easy way for you to look into formulas and change, because I know that the file extension is going from background 1 to social 1, because I want them still to be different based on what category it is. Okay, we also have a quote in here that is just random quotes that have been said by our people. So we have recap, first name, looks good. Last name, quote, category. We have background that is based on the category. Then this is the social background based on the category, which is for the square version. Then the texture that's going to go over it. And we do have the frame as well. So again, I'm going to grab this, which is Adobe Live Demo Texture. And we are going to, right here, come in. We're going to select this whole thing. And then I'm going to Control Find. And I'm going to change this to... Oh, nope, chat. I got confused. Okay, here we go. No, I got it. We are going to change test, design, frame. That's fine, because they're still named frame. So I'm just going to change this. And in theory, you don't have to change this. I'm just doing it because I messed up. I didn't have the file set up. So Adobe Live Demo is all that we're going to change. And I'm going to, Control Find and replace. We are going to do this and replace it with Adobe Live Demo / We are going to search in formulas, and we are going to do a specific range. The specific range is going to be this. So we're gonna hit OK. And now we're going to replace all, and you can see that it has replaced all of those frames. So frame 4, 5, 2, and it's conditional based on what's happening with the formula. So we've got frames all there. All right, here we go. Here we go, chat. File, download, CSV. It's getting advanced. This is an advanced tutorial. We're stepping our way up. So now let's load that in. Load variable library. We're going to downloads and right here. Yes, and this is far more in depth. I agree. So we are going to assign the quote to the quote. We're going to assign our first name to our first name, the last name to the last name right here. The background is going to be the social back this time, not the background. Then we are, I think I linked the wrong thing. Yeah, so I linked the frame. So with the frame selected, we are going to link the frame. We're going to link the social background. And then I do want to place a texture on top of it. We're going to go to place. I'm going to add in a texture right here. We're going to hit place. And this texture, I'm actually just going to put in the center, and it doesn't matter. What we're going to do is we're just going to blow it up all the way to the edge. We're going to multiply that and take the opacity down to like 30. So just super subtle texture here. Let's do 50. And then realign that frame. So we have the first name linked, the last name linked, the quote, the social back, the frame, and now the texture. All right, that's a lot. Here we go. Dataset 1, cross your fingers, everybody. Hold on. Yes, it's intense. This is a workup. So you can just stay with the name tags. That's fine. You can play with a few images. That's fine as well. I'm about to show you a really crazy application for this. So check it out. Oh, actually, we have an issue. I don't want the quote to be hyphenated. So I am going to go to paragraph, turn off hyphenation right there, and then realign. All right. So we're going to go to our first data set. Check it out. The quote is perfect, but I want it to be centered in that space. So what I can do is I can grab my text box, and again, everything is a placeholder. So whatever effects or settings I add to this is going to carry over. So I can right click and then go to, let's see here. Where are you? Bullets and numbering, no. Fill with placeholder, no. It's in the alignment. Oh, chat. There it is right here. So we can go to center. So with the box selected, the placeholder selected, we can go to center, and that is going to center our quote right here. So now when I bring back my texture, just put it over here, and I go to my first data set, it is going to center that quote. And then boom, I have made a bunch of different frames, a bunch of different social media images very quickly, very easily. And I actually am going to take my texture down a little bit more. We're going to set this to like 30. And now continuing through the data set, you can see that it has set that to 30. So anytime you change a placeholder, it is going to change all the way through. And you can see there is overset text here. I don't believe that it's going to give you warnings like it does in InDesign, but it is set there. I'm actually going to lock the texture and see what happens here. So I do want to take the size down here to make sure that it's all going to fit. There we go, right there. And because it is all centered, it doesn't matter if some are longer than the others because it will be able to generate that. So let me see if I lock the texture. Yeah. So if I lock the texture, it still is going to change all of those. So we can pull through. You see that everything is assigning to the different pieces. It is pulling in those textures pretty hardcore. There we go. Got it. All right. So here we go. How much time do we have left? 10 minutes. All right. Here we go. You ready? Here's what we're going to do. It's crazy. We don't have to do this with one artboard. We can do this with as many artboards as we want. So let's say that we want to export these for social media as well as for our, what are the words that I want to say? Oh my goodness, chat. I'm screaming. The business cards, the name tags. We want to do name tags and we want to do the social media images. So in theory, you could make another size that is for the social media. We're going to go to, I think 4x3 is where we were. So this is actually going to look pretty small. I'm going to change my units to inches. And we're going to do 3x2. What was the size we were working at here? What are we doing over here, chat? 3x5. Okay. Oops. So we are going to make a box that is just 3x5 inches. So 3x5 inches. And right here, we got it. Now we are going to select this. And again, we can use the artboards tool, Shift O, or grab the artboard tool right here and just click. And it's going to make an artboard of that little white piece. All right, let's export both of these at the same time. Here we go. We are going to go to File. We are going to go to Place. And this time we are going to grab the different sizes. So we're going to grab the background 1 and we're going to put it right here. We are going to go to File, Place. We're going to add in our texture right here. And again, these are all going to be linked. So it's going to be super easy for us to generate. We're going to go 30. And what will not work, okay, chat, what will not work is if I grab my text here and I make a copy of it. So holding Alt or Option, making a copy of it. I don't believe, let's try it. I don't believe that this is going to change as we cycle through the data set. So let's see. No, so it won't because we need to relink it. So I am going to size this down a bit for our social media image. We're going to fit it into this space. We're going to change the size down just a little bit. There we go. Not mad about that. Let's center right here in the box. Looks good, and it will stay centered. So all the effects are still there. All I need to do is click here and then go to quote, and I am going to assign that as a variable, and it will make a copy of that variable so that it will assign. We are going to do the same thing with the background. We got the texture. I'm going to grab the first and last names right here. We're just going to copy and paste those over onto the side right here. Make those really small. Looks good. Okay, so we've got a little quote by them, and we have our cute little texture. All right, I'm not mad about it. So we're going to put that over there, and now we have all of the pieces. So the texture, I'm going to make sure it's linked, is not linked. So we're going to come to texture. We're going to relink that texture. All right, we're going to relink the texture. I don't know what just happened there, but here we are going to link the background right there. We're going to set this back here, and let's zoom out and make sure that we linked everything and cross our fingers, say a prayer to Adobe Firefly, and hope that this happens. Here we go. Data set 1. Good luck, everyone. All right, it worked. Oh, I didn't relink first name and last name. So I do need to relink here, first name, Got it. And let's relink last name right here. Got it. All right. Ready? Dataset 1. Boom. Dataset 2. Boom. Dataset 3. Boom. Y'all, it's pretty good. So it's doing all of these different pieces, which is really, really cool. And if I wanted to, I could export all these. All we need to do is go back to our action window. Then we can go to actions. Oh, it is open right here. We are going to get our batch. So we're going to go to batch. And then this time I am going to do name tag export. Looks good. Oh, and right now it's exporting both of these. That's what's happening, is I recorded on it. So we're just going to delete that. I am going to export as the PNG. That looks good. So we can go into batch. We are going to do PNGs, data set right there, hit OK, and watch what happens. Boom, boom, bam, boom, boom. So it is exporting both of these at the same time, and it is changing them at the same time. Which is pretty cool. So the backgrounds weren't synced up on naming, which is fine. But it is assigning the different background. It has a custom texture. It's bringing in their quote. It's bringing in their names. My hands are literally up here talking, so I'm not clicking on anything. And it is exporting all of these images for me. So you could do this with company headshots. You could do this with PNGs overlays, right? So you can do textures. You can do PNGs. You can do backgrounds. You can make unlimited variations of all these different pieces. And someone's saying, will you be in Max in person? Yes. I'll be teaching this workflow at Max in person, and we'll have an extra 30 minutes too. So I'm glad that we made it in an hour. And check it out. We have all of our pieces here, data set 1, and you can see that we have all of our social media images right here. And we keep scrolling, and then it will give us all of our name tags as well. Where are our name tags? Where are our name tags? Did I only export? All right, chat, we might need to make another action real quick. Let's try it. So I think what happened is we are going to do a new action here. Looks good. And we're going to do multi-export. Chat, I'll be honest, I haven't tried this, so we're going to try it. We're going to go to export, export as. We do want to do both artboards, range 1 and 2. We are going to add a suffix. We are just going to name it untitled. And I'm going to do test. Oh, I'm so stressed. Okay, we're gonna hit open. This is where I want to go. Export. Looks good. We'll hit OK, and then we stop. Now we can batch export here. Batch, and let's hope that it does all of them. We are going to export them into the test folder this time. And let's see if it does both of them. Multi-export, hit OK. Oh, I'm really hoping. We got 2 minutes, chat. We got 2 minutes. I think we got it. I think we got it. Oh, let me move this so we can see the other one moving too. It's pretty cool that it just does all this and I'm like literally not doing. So again, takes a lot of time. This would have taken you longer than an hour. And let's say that we had to do 200 of these, right? So we're only doing 50. You're like, I could do 50 in an hour. Could you do 200? Could you do 500 an hour? No, but you could do it right here in just a few minutes. Super easy. And yes, thank you. Go register for this thing. I have a bunch of things happening at Max. So let's go ahead with 2 minutes left and see what is exported. Are you ready, chat? Number 50. There we go. That's the end. Hold your breath. Yeah. So there we go. We have 100 files here that we did in just a few minutes. We have the social media as well as the quote with, so look, same quote, same name. It is in 2 different orientations. So if you needed to do email graphics, again, you could have 30 different email graphics and all you need to do is put tagline. You can put a background image. You can put a gradient over it. You can make all of your social media, all of your email, all of your web banners. Super easy. Really crazy workflow. I've done this with up to 16 different sizes of web banners and I exported, I think 540 some files in like a few minutes. So under an hour to set everything up and then boom, boom, bam, you're done. It's super easy. So thanks for joining me. That was wild. Wait, let's get back in my bedroom. My bedroom, I mean office. So that was a super wild workflow, very easy. And if you come to Max, I'll also show you how to do this with characters, right? So you can do this with characters pretty easily. And let's see if I have the file here. I am going to show you real quick, chat. I'm not fully confident I do. I do. Okay, so what I do is I have a character, and all that I need to do is break it out into parts. And then I believe, let's see here, I have a file that is already linked, character parts. Yep. So you can go to final character right here. Let's open this and check it out. So these are all variables. And as I cycle through these data sets, it's pulling in different arms, different legs, different glasses, different eyes to create unique characters for each data set, right? And again, it's all pulled from these and then randomized using that random feature. So super cool workflows. I will see you another time. Stick around. I believe Doc Reed is up next, who's one of my favorite illustrators. It's going to be a great time. Stick around, give him fire emojis in chat, and I will see you another time here on Adobe Live. Bye, everybody.